So here's our newest project to the garage. 1988 Volvo 240 or 244 GL. A little different from what I usually have for build, but we just picked it up last night. And is it in park?
Yep, sir.
All right. Okay, people, welcome back to the newest project. So I bought this about 2-3 weeks ago now, pretty clapped out, for $860. A whole $860 for a 1988 Volvo 240 GL. See the badge, and you'll never guess, but it's a California car. So the person I bought it from brought it over to the Midwest around about 3 months ago, so it's never seen the Rust Belt salt, nor has it been driven in the winter, because people up in the Midwest here know that there has been no snow this year. So in the passenger seat, I have quite the laundry list. So give you guys a rundown. Some of these things are checked off, however they aren't. Brakes, I replaced that driver rear caliper in hopes of fixing the spongy brakes. That did not work. At this point, I think it's a master cylinder. The brake lights don't work. There's a couple different plugs underneath the steering column. I might look into that. I might just run a hot wire into the brake light switch on the pedal and then run it to the back. Rear lights and sockets, that's easy. Front lights, that's easy as well. The driver door, as you can see, the linkage is broken, and it's aluminum, and somebody tried to weld it with steel welding wire, so that's not going to work. Glove box is done, it kept falling down. It needs a new power steering rack boot on the passenger side as well as in alignment. You can see the boots crossed off. The interior trim, there's just a couple of miscellaneous pieces that are missing, like the B pillars and the, around here is missing on the driver's side. It's got a broken, whatever you call it, lock knob. As you can see, it's supposed to be like that. Just small stuff. The gas door doesn't want to stay shut, so I have to look into that. I know IPD sells new ones. Trunk, the rear seat, and then this is all just, cleaning the interior so it's not a shit box. The exhaust, as you can see, is laying on the ground. I have to weld on a new muffler and clean up some of the joints that they did. The window seals, it actually has power windows, which they're slow, so I'm gonna grease or lube the actuators. The power antenna needs to be wired up. Sunroof gasket. The center caps I need to clean or replace, or just put aftermarket wheels on it. That's done. Suspension. So they did the high schooler special and cut the springs to lower it. I will probably go with some coilovers or just lowering springs for now. Oh, and the rear trunk deck, I need to make up a cover or reupholster it, replace the rear speakers, and then, like I say, the window seals need to be replaced. I have the trim, I just have to get the gaskets. So apart from getting it home and getting it running, I have since replaced all the fuses, looking at all the wiring, because the people I bought it from did not do a good job at wiring. They put in an aftermarket radio along with aftermarket speakers on both doors. I have also degreased the engine bay. Probably have to give it another good pressure wash, you know, once it gets on the road again. I cleaned the interior. There was a bunch of like pine needles and just, you know, just miscellaneous crap that they left in here. Change. Some stuff is still up on this little shelf on the dash. But overall, cleaned up pretty good. I did wet vac, whatever you call it. You know, it sprays the water down and then sucks it up. I did that to the carpet, and the carpet came out good. The rear seats are in pretty good condition. There is sun damage on the top of the back seats because it's a California car. The B pillars here are cracked. This is the only remnants that's left. Kind of on both sides. There's that trim piece that's missing. This piece around here. The dash is also kind of cracked, sun dried. The headliner needs to be cleaned. I have a steam cleaner. The driver's seat's kind of torn. These also do have heated seats. However, probably won't use them because it's a 1988 and I don't really trust that. So we'll throw seat covers on it. Neutral safeties. So actually, the reason why I got it for $860 is because the kid drove it, parked it, then it wouldn't start again. And people that know 240s know of the infamous neutral safety switch. So it's underneath your gear indicator, and it's this piece right here. There's a little slider on it, and there's two contacts that it lines up with. One set is for when it's in park, and then the other set is for when it's in neutral, and that only allows it to start if it's in park or neutral. And what's really common is for these little tabs to wear out or break and cause it to randomly not start up again. So we got it to my buddy's house on the trailer, and this was the first thing we looked at, and we jiggled it back and forth, and sure enough, it started right up. So there you go. If you have a 240 and it intermittently doesn't want to start after driving it, check your neutral safety switch. So here's the front driver's side headlight assembly. If you look at this side, it is not burnt and melted, and then you come over here and it's melted and burnt pretty bad, which also melted the horn wires. I think I'm just gonna try and get away with replacing the lens for now, because these are kind of hard to track down. All parts for this thing are hard to track down, but consequently, since they melted that, they added a light bar, and it is very bright. I will give it that. But there's just small odds and ends that need to be replaced or fixed. I am currently rebuilding this pump here. It would not turn or do anything, so I'm taking it apart, making sure that the gear pump works, because these are a gear pump. They're not like a typical, I don't know what you would call it, but let's see if I can get it off. So there you go. You can see you have your two inlet and outlet nipples, or fittings, whatever you want to call them. And they come in here, and these two gears have a tight tolerance, so it pressurizes it, and then it forces it out of the other nipple. And there's just a little coupler in here that mates with this, that spins it. So here I have it screwed back together, and I'm just gonna hook it up to my jump pack and make sure that it turns over. So if you can't see, there's a positive and negative. I suppose it doesn't really matter since it's a DC pump, but I know that it will spin faster when hooked up properly. So there you go. It's all unseized, and all I have to do is hook it back up to the two mounting points like this. Of course. Okay, so after making a mess all over the floor, we have it hooked back up down in there. It should, in theory, spray, and it does. So the other part of the washer fluid is the wiper motor. For whatever reason, this one is locked up. It's a worm gear, so it won't even turn it, because that's how worm gears are. However, if I plug this plug in, it will immediately blow the number 2 fuse. I've been trying to find stuff online. If worse comes to worse, I'll just replace it. I will probably try and rebuild it though, just to save money where I can. My long-term goals for this car is to either, well, ultimately it's going to turn into a project car, because, well, as if it's not already. Currently it's a project car, but I would like to get it to a state where it's daily drivable. If not, at least, you know, a Sunday driver, a cruiser, something I can take out on the weekends or on a nice Friday in the summer and go cruise with. Or, you know, as all project cars go, you know, it may end up as a good contender for a 5.3 Vortex swap and turn into a drift car, but at this point I don't think I want to go that far. The most would be potentially turbocharging this motor, the was it the B230 motor. It's an inline 4, little 4-banger, naturally aspirated. It is pretty healthy, there's no blow by on it. Shockingly, the car came with a set of head studs and a head gasket kit for it, but it's not burning coolant. There's, you know, no combustion gases within the coolant, so I think they just didn't know too much about what they were doing. So yeah, at the moment it's just getting all the small odds and ends, like the wiring, cleaned up so it's not a fire hazard. Obviously bleeding the brakes, replacing the master cylinder so that it's not a death trap, and then from there it'll just be fixing the small odds and ends, like this door linkage, the trim pieces, these window scrapers, any vinyl pieces, you know, like these are just stickers, you know, repaint, just spray paint these. And I do have parts on hand. I ordered a side trim kit from IPD. This trim line here is actually called the belt line trim, and these pieces are hard to come by, and when you do, they're expensive. So I bought some, it's like just half round vinyl stripping with double-sided tape on the back that you stick on. So I'll put that on, replace the cosmetic pieces, clean up the paint. So yeah,